Hi guys, so you asked for it in the stream. I was using this build that I'm going to showcase in the stream. It's the speed farm meta Necromancer build that I've been using for a number of months now, and that I haven't refreshed the build on my channel simply because the video that I put out in November was doing so well, and it's still totally fine to use. But I think that video is done what it needed to do. It's been out there for a number of months now. It's now done over 57,000 views, but we'll go into this new build. We'll show you the different things you're going to be wanting to collect and use, and show you the variants, because there is two different variants as well. One of them which Indez did release the other week. Now, as always, if you do like the content I provide, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like the video, become a member if you wish to do so, and join the Discord, which the link for that is in the description down below. Now, when it comes to what you're going to need for this build, skills-wise, you're going to be going with Soulfire. Then we're going to be using Reform, Corpse Explosion, Grim Scythe, and then Corpse Lance. So we normally use these last two on most of our builds anyway, so it's nothing new there. Now when it comes to the gear, we're going to be using the Watcher Helm. Don't use this one very often, but it is absolutely insane for speed farm and builds. So Corpse Lance triggers an explosion after hitting enemies 4 times in a very short period of time. It deals damage to nearby enemies by doing so, but the additional damage or additional explosions to the same enemy is going to be reduced by 50%. But by that time, they're going to be dead, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Use this helm. It's absolutely perfect for speed farm and builds. Then we've got the Jagged chest piece. This is for Corpse Explosion to increase your critical hit chance by 9.5% for 3 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So basically, you're getting like 28.5% increase in crit hit chance, so nearly 30%. It's absolutely incredible. Critical hit chance is a must for this build. Then we're going to be using Cleansing Pyre. This is also for Corpse Explosion. It now consumes corpses to conjure soulfire pyres around you that burn enemies that are going to be coming in contact with you or close to you. And obviously it increases the Corpse Explosion damage here as well. Next up, we have got the Bleak Augury for Reform. This is basically the bread and butter of the build to make us go at maximum speed. So Reform increases your maximum movement speed and invasion rating, allowing you to move unhindered through enemies, and you're going to generate corpses as you pass through them. You're then also going to be using Defiling Swarm for our orbiting scythes from Grim Scythe. You're then going to be using Departed Appetite. This is for Vortex of Bones. It's going to consume Corpse Lance is going to consume nearby corpses to create this vortex of bones surrounding you that deals an insane amount of damage, and it's going to increase the damage of Corpse Lance as well. You're then going to be using for the other main hand Clot Burst, which is for increases the damage of Corpse Explosion, which is definitely needed. Now the one I mentioned before, Spite Fetter, you need this simply because of Soulfire. Soulfire is the primary we're going to be using, and this is just going to make sure that any hit you do on a boss, for instance, if it's got mobs around it, it's going to explode, and that's got a chance then to deal damage to the surrounding mobs. When it comes to set items, 2-piece Vifuse is a go-to for most of our builds to get that increase in beneficial effects on you and party members up to 30%. Absolutely GG, do be using this 100% of the time. You're then going to be using the 4-piece Augments, which is going to give you a Ignite status or Burn status on your targets. The first part of this is your duration of that Ignite status is going to be increased by 30%. The second part here for the 4-piece, it will attach a Ignite status to the enemy when dealing primary attacks or skills, dealing damage over time to this enemy. So this is great simply because we use this set in a lot of our setups anyway. So why not use it for this and utilize it? But any enemies that are left behind, you can guarantee they're going to die because of the dot that's left on them. Now, when it comes to the last set pieces here, you're going to need is Banquet of Eyes. Damage dealt to enemies suffering from your continual damage and effects is increased by 15%, which then does lead us into our Paragon, into our legendary gems. Now, there's plenty you can use. I am using Morn Skull. Gets 18% damage. If it hits at least 3 enemies that were drained, then you get 36% damage. So an increase in damage is what you need. Berserker's Eye, another increase in damage and critical hit chance. We're using Spectral Glass, which I just did get to rank 10. Took me a number of weeks, but we got there in the end. Critical hits shatter enemies' armor, which is great. They're going to die straight away. Gives you a flat 28% increase in damage. Because of that, it increases your crit hit chance against them by 4%. So overall, great gem for speed farming. Mother's Lament is going to be pretty much the same. You deal damage, you get crit hit chance for 6 seconds. This cannot be increased by 2-piece Vifuse, but it's still worthwhile using because that crit hit chance is massive. I'm then using Blood-Soaked Jade, which increases my damage as well as giving me 10% movement speed. I'm also then using a Void Spark in here, which is over my Echoing Shade. I'm then using Bottled Hope. This is just for increase in damage and movement speed. And I'm then using Roiling Consequences, which is going to increase my crit hit chance as well as apply a burn to nearby enemies because of this explosion it causes. Now, other things you can use are going to be Entropic Well, great gem. Let's just go over here so I can show you exactly what it does. Where is my rank 10? Here it is. Increases your skill damage by 18% and your skill attack speed. Absolutely brilliant. Less Pebble as well is also a good one that you could use because it increases the duration of beneficial effects on you by 12%. So you could also use an Igneous Scorn. Now, I do have a higher level Igneous Scorn here somewhere. Let's just see if we can find it. A rank 4. This will give us enough to show you what it does. So critical hits causes explosions that deal damage to nearby enemies. These explosions cannot occur more than once every 6 seconds. After triggering an explosion, though, your damage is increased by 2.5%. So the amount of crits you're going to be getting here is unbelievable. So every 6 seconds, you're going to be able to increase your damage by 2.5%, which at rank 4 is incredible. You get this to rank 10, you're going to be doing loads more damage as well. You could use a Fervent Fang. Downside to using a Fervent Fang is you're going to be killing mobs very, very quickly, and you cannot kind of get this up to the maximum potential of 10 stacks. It's just not going to happen. They're going to die before you ever reach it. So it may be one that you want to just not use. But if you see all you've got, then feel free to use it. Volatility Shard is also a good one. Based on defeating enemies to trigger explosions. Also very good. It's going to increase your damage for 2 seconds as well. When it comes to Reforges, guys, Reforges are a thing we don't go through very often when it comes to speed farm builds. And I don't think they matter too much. But I think here, when it comes to my PvE Reforges, I like to use damage to enemies suffering loss of control with my Grim Scythe. That is here. My Grim Scythe class affix. It slows enemies. That is classed as a loss of control. So basically, when it comes to my Reforges, I'm going to be getting this activated every single time. But Reforges should look exactly like this if you're doing any PvE content when it comes to having something that creates loss of control. So you damage to enemies, suffer loss of control, damage to demons, attack speed, critical hit or all damage, and then beneficial effects. Beneficial effects should be on as much gear as you can possibly get it on. When it comes to things like Paragon, you've really got two options. I personally think you should go for Brawler with the right-hand side, bottom side taken for increase in size. But you could take Vanquisher as well for increase in damage. Warband Room. You can also increase size in a Warband Room. But you've also got another choice when it comes to Warband Room. Protector, you can increase your size in this. Or you could go ahead and just increase damage. As you can see here, most people are going to be taking Protector. But take the one that increases your damage as well. This is a really good one. But in my mind, always take Protector when you're doing overworld farming or any speed farming setup. Familiars, you're still going to want to take one that gives you Lingering Wounds, simply because that increases the damage you do to enemies as well. When it comes to cursed properties, I haven't got the correct cursed properties on because I've been playing Golem. But this is what I've been using for Golem. I would say Wired is going to be good to go for, as well as Lashed. I think that pretty much covers everything we need to. So what does it look like when you're using it? You're going to use your Wraithform to get straight up to 60% or 70% movement speed. When it comes to elite mobs, they don't actually stand a chance. You'll just one-shot everything as you're running through. No problem whatsoever. But that elite pack, I didn't even get a chance to see it. It just died on me. So yeah, have a blast with this build, guys. As I said before, there is a variant, and I can show you that variant in just a second because I do have it equipped. It definitely is the Indez variant. Let me just go to a safe place so we can actually swap over and show you what that is all about. Let's go back here. So Indez variant then, what have we got that's different here? So Indez is using the Death's Egress shield for the new Bone Spirits. Bone Spirits now draws essence from nearby enemies, conjuring Bone Spirits at each enemy affected that rapidly orbits you, damaging enemies it passes through. And a brilliant spell that looks absolutely amazing. The only downside to it I find is that you need to have 5 or more enemies to really get full benefit from it. You know, you can see it does amazing amounts of damage. And it does work really well. And most of the time you will have 5 up. So my suggestion would be try it, see what you think to it, compare builds. You know, I don't see there being a big difference between the two builds. Both builds move at 70%. Both builds do insane amounts of damage. There, elite pack dead. You know, there is no problem with using any of these builds, any gems, any set pieces. You can change up, like set piece changes you can make. You could potentially go into banquets, you could go into grace. You can really have some fun with this setup, but this is kind of the build that I would definitely consider using. Anyway, guys, that is the video. I will link Indez's video to this as well, so you've got both videos so you can compare. But until next time, guys, streams will be coming up towards the end of the week, but we'll see you then. Cheers for watching.